Hi, welcome to the lesson on how to draw Wumps. So we are going to be learning about transformations, which means things moving around on a coordinate grid. And this is the basis for the way that computer animation is done, either in movies or with video games. And so we're going to begin by looking at some fairly simplified characters and how they can move around on a coordinate grid to kind of give us a basic understanding of what's happening in that case. So the situation is we've got Zach and Marta, and they're going to be drawing the Wumps, which are a family in a computer game. And then the members of the Wump family are all various sizes, but they have the same shape. And there are going to be some imposter figures, and you're going to be looking to draw these and then tell which ones are the imposters and which ones are part of the Wump family. So I suggest ripping your paper apart so that you have, they're just easier if you're working with them separately. So the first thing we're going to look at is this table right here. And you can see that Mug Wump, which is the first character, like the original character, that'll kind of give you an idea of what the rest of them look like. You've got all of your ordered pairs already here. The rest of them, we're going to figure out the ordered pairs, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. So first of all, I want to remind you that when you are plotting points, this is our x-axis right here, and this is our y-axis. And it says y up here, but it doesn't say x there, so I'll put an x there for you. And then you can see up here in an ordered pair, the x is the first coordinate and the y is the second coordinate. So when we start graphing Mug, we're going to go 0 over on the x, so we're not going to go anywhere at all, and then we're going to go up 1. And so our very first point for Mug Wump is right there. And then for 2, 1, we're going to go 2, 1, and that's our second point. Now, I highly suggest that as you are doing this, you connect the points as you go. Because if you don't connect the points as you go, you're going to have to go through everything again to figure out what order they go in. The next one is 2, 0. So now I go over 2, and I don't go up at all because it's 0, and then I connect that point. And then I do 3, 0, and I connect that point. And you're going to just keep going until you have your character. When they have a break like this, you are not going to connect this point to this point. So all of these get connected to each other. You're connecting these in order. These, you're just making a dot. These, you're connecting in order, but you're not connecting this one to this one or this one to this one. Okay, so that's how you do the original. Now, let's talk about these other guys right here. So Zug, you'll notice that it says 2x, 2y. So when we don't see any type of operation, that means multiplication. So I have 2 times x. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my original xy right here, and I'm going to multiply it by 2. So my x is 2, so I do 2 times 2, and that gives me 4. And then I'm going to do 2 times y, so 2 times 0 is 0. Now I have 3, 0, so 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 0 is 0, like that. So I'm always taking 2 times my x coordinate and 2 times my y coordinate, and then that gives me the next one here. Okay, for lug, it says that we're going to take 3 times our x coordinate, and then our y coordinate is just going to stay the same. And we're always going back to the original over here. So these are our original x, y's, and so for each one, we're going to be coming back to the original for whatever we need to do. So for lug, we're going to do 3 times 0, which is 0, and the y just stays the same as it is, so it's 1. 3 times x, so 3 times 2 is 6, and then the y just stays the same, so that's 1. Let's do one more here. So 3 times my x, which is 6, and then my y just stays the same, like that. And so these are all going to be graphed on different graphs. So this is going to be Mug, this is going to be Zug, Lug, Bug, and then Glug over here. So you're going to do each of them on a different graph. Okay, bug right here, 3x and 3y. That means we're multiplying by 3 the x coordinate and multiplying by y, or multiplying 3 by the y coordinate. So 3 times 0 would be 0. 3 times 1 would be 3. Same thing here. X gets left alone. We don't do anything with x. So my x is 0. It stays 0. And then 3 times y. So 3 times 1 is 3. And then if we had another one, my x would stay the same. So 2 just stays like it is. And then 3 times 1, which is my y coordinate, is 3. Okay, so first you want to fill out the table, and then you want to graph your little guys, and then you want to decide which ones are imposters and which ones are part of the Wump family. And then once you have all that finished, we will talk about it next class.